Tuesday afternoon. Welcome to Stampin' Up with Jamie. I am just so happy to be here with you this afternoon live. You may be catching this video on replay. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, I forgot to shut my light off, so you're getting a shadow. Okay, hold on. I'm going to go shut my light off. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. Sorry. I have a light like over my head, and if I don't if I don't shut it off, you see a shadow. So there we go. Okay, today's card is a little bit different than maybe I normally do. I love my clean, simple designs. Okay, that's kind of my jam, and that's what I prefer. But every now and then, I like to just throw something kind of new and different at you in a nice gentle toss. And so I made this card. It has lots going on, and that's why, I mean, it's definitely not like a normal card of mine. There's lots of different components and texture. So I do love lots of texture in my card. You have texture in the embossing folder. We have two different kinds of ribbon. We have the scalloped stitched edges here, and then we have some cork paper as well. And the light isn't necessarily catching it. Well, maybe a little bit there, but I did use a little wink of Stella on the flower and the leaves. And I'm going to show you, I'm trying to get it, but I can't get it and on the leaf, but they do have it, just a hint of wink of Stella to give it a little bit of a little sparkle, and then some rhinestones. So I'm going to just hop right in. I'm going to walk you through step by step, and we're going to make the card. Hey, Susan, I'm so glad you're here this afternoon. I wasn't sure if anyone was going to catch it because I had to up it an hour. Last night I was laying in bed and I went, oh my gosh, I scheduled my daughter's hair appointment the same time I do my live. I don't even know what I was thinking. And this is what happens when I don't put things in my calendar. My husband's always telling me, you have to put your lives in your calendar. Because I just assume I always know they're Tuesday and Wednesday night. And then I go and schedule a hair appointment, and, you know, he's right. Don't tell him he's right, but he's kind of right. Okay, so we have some thick basic white, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Oh, good. And actually, you know what's funny, Susan? I was literally about to hit go live, and I went, oh my gosh, I think I put 1 o'clock in my Facebook post. Sure enough, I went back into the Facebook post, and I'm like a creature of habit. I said, join me at 1 o'clock today. Oh my goodness. So I quickly changed it to 12. So I'm glad you saw the, the correction. Okay, so then I took another panel of basic white. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so the entire size of the card front. And I embossed it, and look at that beautiful embossing. Okay, I used the Time Worn Type embossing folder. It's in the new July to December mini. And I always feel these pictures don't quite do it justice. Hey Barb, thanks for coming on in. So let's look at what it actually looks like. So pretty. And I don't know, let me ask you this. Would you use the reverse side? Because technically they're words. And so I don't think anyone would really notice that the words are backwards. But technically, if you're going to use the side, the words are backwards. So I'm going to use the positive side. But just a really nice background, not like too in your face, just a nice subtle background. So again, that's the entire card front, 4 1/4, 5 1/2. I'm just going to adhere that on. Okay. Next, I used the Stitched So Sweetly, which is quite a tongue twister, really, all those S's. And I cut out a couple of rectangles. I cut out 3 rectangles. This is the biggest rectangle in that bunch. And this one here, it's like 2 by 3 1/8. More or less. So I cut, this is from the Petal Pink pattern. That's another tongue twister. Petal Pink pattern, 3 P's. Of the Subtle Designer Series paper. So if you're not familiar, all of our color families come in packs of Designer Series paper. So we have the subtles, the neutrals, the regals, and the brights, and then the 2 in color packs. And you get 2 patterns of all the colors. So there, you technically get four sheets of each color. Oh, I'm so glad you like it, Barb. Thank you. I'm just so flattered. Thank you. And this I have to say, out of all the patterns, this is my favorite one. I use it all the time. This is like my go-to pattern. So anytime you see me using the Color Family Designer Series paper, it's probably this pattern. It's my favorite. So this is the petal pink. And then I use that other die and I cut out a piece of cork paper, which is really, really cool because it's actually cork. Like it's the real deal. It's not like paper that looks like cork. It's thinner than a cardstock. Excuse me. But it's got this beautiful texture in it. I can actually like feel it with my finger. It's just really, really pretty. And then I use the same size die and I cut out a piece of basic white. Okay. So let me just show you the card again I'm working with. So now we're just going to kind of do a bunch of layering. I had everything done and I didn't have that on. And I thought, I think I want to add just a little bit of something in this corner here. And so I decided to add just a little bit of soft succulent ribbon. Oops, excuse me. Oh my goodness, I have a dimensional backing. Okay, so this is this beautiful soft succulent ribbon. It comes in all 5 of our ink colors. So soft succulent, fresh freesia, evening evergreen, pale papaya, and polished pink. Here is the soft succulent. So, so pretty. And I don't know, I just wanted to do like a simple staple. I kept it like kind of rustic. That may be too big. That is too big. Hold on. I'll tell you more or less how big this is in a second. Let me just guesstimate how long. Oh, that's still too long. Let's try that. This is, it's about 3 1/4. 3 1/4. And it's a little bit longer than my sample one, but that's okay. So all I'm going to do, I really just wanted, I'm going to cut it a little bit. That's going to bother me. I'm sorry. So maybe a smudge, maybe about 3 inches would probably be perfect. I'm folding it over. Oh, I got to get my stapler out. So anytime I'm using a tag, I do this a lot with tags, or I just want like a little detail, maybe in the upper hand corner or something with my ribbon, I use a stapler, just like, I don't know, like a regular household stapler. There's nothing fancy. I'm sure there are craft staplers out there, but this does the job and it really works. So if you didn't want to use a staple, you could also just adhere that down with maybe some tear and tape, or you could do other things. Get creative with it. I'm just going to staple mine down. So I'm holding it with my left thumb and I'm going to just put a staple in the top. And again, I do this a lot with my tags. If I'm like winding, I don't have one on hand to show you, but if I'm making a tag, I'll like wind the ribbon through and I just secure it with a staple because I find it so much easier than sometimes trying to tie a bow around it. So just keeping things super simple. Oh, I wanted to show you what inspired today's card. I totally forgot. Hold on. I gotta grab it. Okay. So over this past weekend, I had a party. I had a nail party. And so as like a little thank you to everybody that showed up and participated and attended the party. They didn't actually come to my house, but still attended. I just made a cute and simple, very, very simple thank you like note card. This is a 3x6. What's that called? Scored at 3. Totally had like a brain fart there. And so the same components as my card. And so whether you're starting with a full-size card and want to make a note card, just take the simple components that you're using and just kind of dumb them down a little bit. And you can keep things really super simple. Or if you're doing the reverse and starting with a really super simple note card, just add more to it. Add some texture, some designer paper, maybe another ribbon or whatever, extra embellishments. And so take the same components, whether you're upping it or dumbing it down, whatever it is, but you can definitely find inspiration just about anywhere. So I made these to go out to the participants. So I wanted to show you where my inspiration came for the card. I started with the note card and dazzled it up, bedazzled it for the full-size card. Do I want to adhere this down? Yeah, we'll adhere this down. I kind of flush right, but kind of centered. Okay. Then I have that cork. I just love so much. Oh, I love texture in my cards. So even though I tend to keep my cards very, very simple, I love texture. Red, green, and blue steeples. No kidding. Seriously, Susan? Can you tell that they're colored? I didn't know such a thing existed. I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but I honestly had no idea. Wow, isn't that fun? Could be changed up to be masculine and used as a basic layout for so many things. Oh my goodness, Linda, definitely. Oh my goodness. Absolutely. You could, hold on. Can I find my grid paper keeps shifting. You could change up the colors. Instead of having the flowers, you could do a more masculine, like trees maybe, right? Like something more neutral. When I make a masculine card, I almost always go nature, trees, grass, birds, as long as it's not a girly bird, something to that effect. So yeah, totally. You're going to see, yeah, the mini stapler. I know Stampin' Up used to sell one, and it retired just before I bought it. So I just used my regular one. You're going to see if you sign up for my weekly tips and updates email, which by the way, if you haven't, you should. Today I'm going to talk about casing a card. And I'm going to actually challenge you to case one of my cards. And that's basically the same thing. You take the gist of it, the bones of it, the idea of it, and then you switch up the components, maybe switch out the colors or whatever, and kind of make your own thing. Which, by the way, if you sign up for my weekly tips and updates email, you will get 5 free quick and easy card tutorials, okay? And you can find that at freebies.jamieb.com. JAIMIEB.com. You have to spell my name right. Thank you, Mom and Dad. I forever have to spell out my name because it's not spelled normal. Okay, so that's the bottom of our card. Next, I'm going to take that other, they're the same size as the cork, but this one I'm going to make lengthwise. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment. There it is. From the Sweet as a Peach stamp set. Nothing peachy about this card. There's not a peach to be found, but I love this sentiment. I love them both. You could actually totally use the happy birthday, would fit nicely too. I'm going to use the thanks so much. And I'm going to stamp this in the soft succulent. I love the soft succulent and petal pink together. I think they complement each other really nicely. Petal pink tends to be very like pastel, very light and muted. And the soft succulent just adds a nice darker depth. It's not like an evening evergreen. It's not too dark, but it is definitely like darker than like a soft sea foam. So I think it does make the card sort of pop. Okay, let me set this aside. We're going to sort of build everything in a second. The Summer Shadows dies. Okay, this is a set of dies that are included in the Sale-a-bration catalog, which of course I don't have out at the moment. And they are free with a $100 order. I will let you know that these are while supplies last. So although Sale-a-bration runs through the end of September, they may run out sooner, in which case you want to get them now. Do not wait. I'm missing one. Oh no, I'm not. Okay. So mine are a mess because I've been using them a lot, but you get 11 dies, okay? And they do coordinate with the Summer Shadow stamp set, but you do not need to have that stamp set to use these dies. These guys here most definitely coordinate with that stamp set, but all the other ones can be used on their own, like I've used today. And they are meant to be layered, kind of like two-step stamping, but two-step dies. And then we have a couple of standalone, like we have this flower, and then this little guy here is super cute. I love that. So this is free. Yes, you heard correct. Free Summer Shadows dies in the Sale-a-bration brochure right now while supplies last. Free with a $100 order. Okay. So I use them and I cut out 2 leaves and 2 flowers. Again, it's sort of two-step dies. And sometimes when I've used these before, I like to offset the colors. What did I do last time? I think maybe it was like Calypso Coral and Bumblebee or something like that. And this would be pretty with like Evening Evergreen and Soft Succulent. But I wanted to keep it sort of tone on tone. And so I cut them out. Petal pink, soft succulent. And then we're going to just use some liquid glue to adhere one over the other. And we're going to sort of bedazzle them in a second. I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. You don't have to worry about loading it up with glue. Honestly, that liquid glue is super powerful. A little bit goes a long way. So don't feel like you have to get every nook and cranny of the die. You do not. Okay. Doot, 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 doot. Maybe one there too. Okay. Just go one over the other. And the nice thing about liquid glue is it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. So I can actually move that top piece around a little bit until I kind of get it in the position I want it. So that's nice. Okay, I could have left it at that, but why would we leave it at that? I had the idea to take some Wink of Stella. This stuff is so fun. It's like a clear liquid that has like a shimmer in it. And if you're using it for the first time, I wouldn't go directly on to your cardstock. You're definitely going to want to kind of, you'll see here it says push. So basically it's here and then it goes through these coils down, down, down into the bristles. And so when you push the first time, like a big glob might come out. Okay, so just be mindful of that if you're using it for the first time. You're going to want to kind of practice on some like scrap paper, grid paper, whatever you have. So just be mindful of that. And then once it's kind of going, you don't really have to, I haven't found that I have to be careful of the goobies. So, but I'm only going to put the Wink of Stella on the top. I'm going to try the top piece of my, my petal pink, if that makes sense. So there's two pieces of petal pink that are adhered over each other. This is easier if you're working on a table as opposed to holding it in the air like I was. And I'm just going to go over the top. You could bedazzle the whole thing if you wanted, but I thought it was nicely just to kind of do the top and let the bottom stay more matte. And you have to be too particular about it. This is so fun. And it's just a little shimmer. Again, the camera's going to be a little hard to catch it, but I can totally see it on my end. Okay, and if you want more, just go over it again. So fun. I love this stuff. Okay, let me see if I can get the camera to catch it. Oh, come on, camera, cooperate. Oh, there. Do you see it a little bit there? It's got a little bit of shimmer. It's not like sparkles and it's not sequins. It's like little tiny, 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 tiny glitter. I said it's not glitter. It's not like glitter. It's just really small. Does that make sense? Fun is this stuff. Honestly, you could just like bedazzle everything. I'm going to do the same thing with my leaves. I could have bedazzled and then glued it because I'm only trying to catch like the top piece. That would work. You just want to make sure that the Wink of Stella is dry before you adhere one over the other. I felt like I could do this just carefully. And honestly, if I hit the inside cardstock, it's not like it's the end of the world. Just not quite necessarily what I was going for. Okay. Okay. Put the cap on. Let's see, I don't think this is going to be even harder because it's so small, but there is a shimmer to it. I don't know if the light's catching it. Okay. We'll just assume that you trust me that there's a nice shimmer to that. Just trust me on this one. It's very pretty. Okay. So next, I'm going to wind around. So just like I did in my note card, I kind of have some windy silver twine in the background. I did the same thing in my card. I'm going to be honest. The fact that both of the tails are going up kind of drives me bananas. Like the fact that both the tails are up. Obviously, I would have preferred one going down, but such is life. Hopefully, I can get this one to cooperate a little bit more. This stuff does kind of have a mind of its own. It's from the Elegant, what's it called? Hold on. Simply Elegant Trim. And you get a pack of gold and silver. I'm using the silver. I use this stuff all the time. It adds just a nice little sparkle to your project card, whatever you're making. And especially with Christmas, oh my goodness, I use it a lot. I think I totally just there we go. I went a little heavy-handed with that adhesive. So I just put a strip of adhesive, and I'm going to kind of play with this a little bit until I get it right. I will tell you, excuse me, like I said, this stuff kind of has a mind of its own. And even though I kind of want it to go this way and that way, it will inevitably just do what it wants. So if you adhere it down, you're like, I totally don't like that. Just lift it off and do it again. The adhesive will hold strong enough, but not too strong that you can't pull it up again and kind of rework it. Okay, now that's how I wanted it. I wanted one that way and one this way. It's kind of covering the sentiment, but I don't think anyone is going to make a fuss about it. I don't think I am, because the twine right now is pretty much cooperating for the most part. And if it ain't broke, let's not fix it. Okay. I have my leaves and my leaf and my flower. I'm just looking to see where, there it is, my dimensionals. So I'm going to use some full-sized and some mini. I'm going to start with the leaf, and I'm going to put one big one and then one small one. This one up here I'm leaving alone because I'm not sure, let's see here, placement-wise, if I can do that without it covering. It's a little tricky to get it to work around the twine. I'm not gonna lie, even for myself. It's like, I think I'm gonna go that way with it. If it's easier, you can do what I'm gonna do next for the flower, but sometimes I find it easier to put it on the actual image. Okay, it's a little, I must have stamped this one a little higher than, or did I go that, I wonder if this one's bigger. Hold on a second. No, it is the same size. I guess I stamped it a little higher. That's why my leaf looks so high up. Can I move? There we go. Okay, we're gonna have it go there. It's not exactly where I want it, but I don't want my thing hidden. I don't want that showing. I guess I could have put a dimensional on that one. Okay, for the flower though, just because it gets a little tricky with like placement or whatever. Wow, I totally stamped that so much higher than my sample. I'm going to use some mini dimensionals, and this time I am going to put them right on my card because it's just easier. I don't have to worry about working around the twine. And then this guy, let's see here. Wow, that's so much higher. Why did I go so high with that? Hold on. There is a thing there, and it's bothering me. I wonder if I can cover that. Strategically place my flower. Okay, that's not exactly where I want it. I would have liked everything a little bit lower, but I stamped the sentiment way too high. So note to yourself, stamp lower. Don't go so high. Try and go more along the stitched bottom there. Everything won't feel quite so cramped. Okie dokie. So to add just a little bit more bling, I'm going to take some rhinestones, which, hello, I need to order more. I looked at this, I was like, oh my gosh, how am I so low on rhinestones? I don't have a pack ready to go. I use these things all the time. I just love the rhinestones and the pearls. I use just constantly. And they come in the 3 sizes. I'm using 2 mini, 2 small, and like a medium. And I'm kind of trying to fill that void there. Okay, and then this I'm going to adhere over everything else using a few more dimensionals. Okay, hold on, just checking because I didn't stamp the inside. Let's see here. No, I guess that doesn't have another. I was checking to see if the peach stamp set had a good inside something, but I guess they really don't. Okay. Do I have a piece of, oh, I could totally use that. That's what I'll use, even though it's kind of squinched. Okay, so I put dimensionals on this. Sorry, I was totally talking to myself there for a second. Do you guys do that when you're crafting? I do it all the time. I don't really want to admit how many times I talk to myself, but I do talk to myself. Okay. Did I cover? No, I didn't cover. Okay. Okay, Beautiful. Lovely. Okay, for the inside, I'm going to take this. Hold on, I got to cut it down. It's a little wonky, but that's okay. Let's see here. Maybe I'll take, does a 1/4 inch look good? I'm going to take a 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch by 4 1/4. So now that I cut it, is that a good size? It's already cut. Okay, I didn't want to add another sentiment on the inside. I'm going to leave it just with the things so much on the outside. I have that same petal pink. I'm mirroring and matching the petal pink on the outside. And this is just a 1/4 by 4 1/4, and I'm going to adhere it on the inside of my card, like so. To the bottom. Just add a little detail on the inside. Oops, that's totally overhanging. Where's my scissors? It's got a little bit of an extra on it. Oops. There we go. Okay, and there's our card. Thanks so much. Just a reminder, this uses the Summer Shadows dies, which are in the Sale-a-bration catalog and available while supplies last. I cannot emphasize it enough that if these, you like them and you would like to receive them, to go ahead and place that $100 order as quickly as possible so that you can add these to your Sale-a-bration free items and get them while they're still available. They're beautiful for layering and for making really beautiful cards. I love them, and I love even more so that they're free. That makes it even better yet. So whether you're making a full-size card or just a really sweet and simple note card, I think you're really going to like these dies. Head over to jamieb.com, JAIMIEB.com. You can find all my links over there. You can shop over there, follow me on social media, get my free 5 quick and easy card tutorials. It's kind of like my catch-all. So be sure to head over there, check out all those details. I'll be here if you have any questions. Feel free to reach out. I'd love to help in any way I can. And I hope to see you tomorrow night on Facebook. 7:30 Eastern time on my Facebook page. Everyone have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you again soon. Bye-bye.